What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for episode 2 of our Miami Dolphins 1994 mod franchise mode. Where if you missed episode 1, we got awesome feedback on episode 1. I'm glad you guys are vibing with this series. We are controlling the Miami Dolphins in 1994, and we had a little bit of a unique twist on it, whereas we are starting under the legendary Don Shula. If you don't know who Don Shula is, just Google it. He's one of the greatest, arguably the greatest head coach of all time, but we are starting as an offensive coordinator. Very similar to how I used to start the NCAA series, where you could be an OC, you can only control the offense. What we do is, as we earn our staff points, we can only spend our staff points in our OC talent tree, and eventually we can decide when it's time to make the move to become a head coach on another team, or hell, Don Shula's getting up there in age, maybe we take over for Don Shula when and if he potentially retires. And we started with the Miami Dolphins, one, because they have like the best retro uniforms of all time, but secondary, interesting team. Defense kind of sucks. Luckily, I don't really control the defense. Offense, very good. And the storyline around Dan Marino, we told it in episode 1. He's 32 years old. Quarterbacks back in the day did not age as gracefully as they do today with the rules. They used to get pummeled. Dan Marino, last season, IRL in 1993, tore his Achilles and missed the year. No one thought he'd come back and be the same. So there's doubters around one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, and we are trying to put him in an offense that is going to maximize his talent and just prove that at 32, he is going to age like quarterbacks in today's NFL. 32 is your prime, and we are hoping to continue to get prime Dan Marino. I can't tell you enough. If you missed the first episode, go watch it. The gameplay was ridiculous. We had a bunch of one-handed catches against the Buffalo Bills. And we are now here for today's episode. Well, we're going to be doing this in 4-game chunks so that we can, obviously get a nice pace to this. I don't want it to be too quick. It's not like the Browns rebuild that we're doing right now where we go a season per video. This is something that's a little bit more of like a long-term franchise content, because I feel like that's just a good balance in terms of uploads on the channel. But I still want to do, 4-game stretches for every single episode, because we're only controlling the offense as well. It's a little bit more condensed gameplay. But we are 2-0 right now. We have a top 10 offense, top 10 defense, which probably shouldn't be the case with a 75 overall defense, but we do see the Raiders only have a 73 overall defense. This feels like a great week for us to throw the football with Dan Marino, and a great week to have a breakout player. Hopefully this breakout's on the offense. It is for Bernie Parmalee, who is our running back. He's like a 72 running back. He's been consistent. He's shifty. 2 touchdowns or 100 yards for him, rushing or receiving, will get him off that normal dev and up to a star dev this week. We also have a tandem breakout on the offensive side of the ball, which again, as the offensive coordinator, we will heed this and see what's going on. I actually don't know if this is going to load or not. It does. We got OJ McDuffie, Irving Fryer, our veteran wide receiver. We're going to challenge OJ McDuffie. He was a high draft pick, never really panned out for the Dolphins at the end of his career, but we're at the start of his career right now. So we're going to see if we can make a player of that. Irvin Fryer, for being the veteran, gets 2,500 XP for inspiring a teammate, and get OJ McDuffie 150 plus receiving yards against the Raiders, and or any touchdowns will get him some big time boost. So maybe that'll be a guy that we need to target a little bit more this week, but there's not much else we can really talk about here. Let's just get into our first game. Undefeated Dolphins, undefeated Raiders. We do got Parmalee's dev trait. We are going to have to find a balance today of running the football and passing the football. He breaks a tackle. Let's go. Between him and OJ McDuffie, 2 playmakers that could both go for a dev trait increase. Boom. The air raid is just too much. Oh, 2 logs. Sack. Winston Moss. Parmalee, look at the speed. That's all he got. He is a speedster. Not great carrying. Will be prone to fumbling. But if he can get untouched to the second level, he is very, very shifty. All right, 2nd and 4. Take a shot here to see if McDuffie can win on the outside. Looks like he has a chance. He has a step. Floated in. Touchdown, OJ McDuffie. Again, more speed than anything. Kind of. How it's 94, but Dolphins 94, Dolphins in 2024, prioritizing speed. Right, Bubba running wide open on the 1. He gets in. Let's go. Oh, stupid. Oh, go! Hits the juke, breaks an ankle, takes it to the house, gets himself a star dev trait. Fuck. Trying to force it to McDuffie. Bad. Like, this is the only thing we can't have. We can't have a turnover here. Luckily, Parmalee got a dev trait. Makes a touchdown saving tackle. All right, we're just not gonna force it. We're gonna punt on the dev trait because I don't like abusing Dan Marino's stat line like this. And it wasn't pretty to close the game out, but game one of our 4-game slate is another victory as the Miami Dolphins move to 3-0, 28-18 in a game where Dan Marino really should have looked a little bit cleaner, but we tried forcing targets to OJ McDuffie, who needed 150 yards to get a dev trait. He finished with 94. But Bernie Parmalee needed 100 yards to get a star dev trait. He absolutely crushed it with a $175 on the ground as the Dolphins remain undefeated. And there we go. Parmalee hits on the dev trait. If we develop him properly, could be a special player for this offense. That is for sure, because I was looking at this team and running back looked like a position we want to try to upgrade immediately. But Parmalee, I'm kind of hoping along the way, one or two guys come out of nowhere to develop into serviceable starters for us. And Parmalee's making the most of his opportunity. With another 10 staff points, we're able to go and spend another upgrade. I just think we keep working our way down. Not flushing and filling these out 2 out of 2s, but I want to work my way down and immediately get concentration as fast as I possibly can, because that +5 catching for wide receivers and tight ends is going to be massive for our room that's not the highest level, the highest quality. So we'll right now get an additional boost for Parmalee and company, bumping up their carrying by 1. Give the Colts on slate next week 4. They're 1-2. Not the best looking squad, 78 overall. I probably should know this with the Raiders, but it is kind of worth looking at the roster, seeing what players we actually know who we're going up against. I, like probably many of you, aren't super familiar with the players that are playing in 1994, but let's take a look. Maybe we'll be surprised. And looking at the Colts, they got Jim Harbaugh at quarterback, which is kind of funny. They got the late, great Tony Siragusa. We got on the top, Marshall Faulk is in his rookie season, one of the most iconic do-it-all running backs, but look at that right next to his name there. He is out. He is going to be missing this game, which is a massive boost for us to continue our undefeated streak, because he is most of the Colts offense. Now it's time to gas up Dan Marino. Our team has played really well early part of the season. How much is that is the returning Dan Marino? Obviously, a lot is made of him coming off his injury. We're absolutely going to praise Dan Marino, even though he's had a couple interceptions. Those are firmly on me. Trying to go for dev traits. If we were protecting the football, playing smart football, Dan Marino would have like 10 touchdowns, 1 pick right now. So we're going to beat the Colts. 300 yards passing for Dan Marino. Easy pickets. First out, this is a game we have the goal to get 300 yards with Dan Marino. We don't have to worry about the running back getting X amount of yards for a breakout. So it is going to be a pass-heavy game. Who wants it? Someone break off. Someone break off. Someone break off. He works. And it's Irvin Fryer. Our wide receiver won 34 yards. I mean, this is a game, though, especially with the Colts missing Marshall Faulk and having a terrible defense. Got to win. We're going to put up numbers here as well. I think we're going to get 35 points. Floated in there to Irvin Fryer, which we can make. I don't even know. That's an awkward catch, to say the least. But there's a reason he's a big-time player. Gets his 5th touchdown of the year. Dolphins starting out the opening drive hot. Defense gets a stop. I'm expecting, if we play the way we did against the Raiders, a Marshall Faulk-less Colts shouldn't get any points against us. 3rd and 4, we'll take a shot. 4 verts, why not? Fryer's where we want to look. McDuffie's getting locked up by a dev trait corner. Irvin Fryer just wins off the line. We're going to lob it up and let him do what he does best. Touchdown, 6 of the season, 2nd of the game. 35 yards, air raid in full effect. What a bomb. What a bomb, what a grab. Irvin Fryer again, eaten. Second to go, we got Fryer on the top of the screen, running a slant. Jackson in the slot. One of those two is probably where I want to go. And we'll fire it in late to Jackson. Makes the grab, but somehow does not get a... Oh, there we go. Thank you. Forward progress. 3rd touchdown of the day. Oh, what a... Oh, my God. What a play. Urban Fryer almost wins the foot race, gets tripped up. That, what a monster. Keith Jackson. Oh, they get the garbage touchdown. I was hoping I could just say both teams traded field goals as we close this one out, but we give them a touchdown in garbage time when the game was already firmly out of hand. And with the passing performance, I don't know what, I think we got over 350 or close to 350. Our goal was 300 on the day, which, I mean, especially at his age, at 32 years old, anytime that we can earn any XP boost of significance is going to be nice because it's just that much harder for him to go up rating. But he dominated, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. We force-fed Urban Fryer, our top wide receiver, 188 yards on 5 catches. I will give credit to the Colts. Parmalee had almost 200 yards. We gave him 18 touches, only got 46. So the Colts' run defense was legit. Unfortunately, Jim Harbaugh on their offense couldn't do anything against the Dolphins as we remain undefeated. And we're getting some sort of boost here for Dan Marino post-game. And we got the legendary Don Shula. You know what? This is probably us. This is us as an OC. Dan Marino probably was skeptical about this gimmicky air raid offense. Well, what it was going to bring, what was it going to mean to the off? You know, it's not going to work in 99-4. We got to run the football 350 times like Emmitt Smith. We said, trust me. We throw the football. Good things are going to happen. We got a nice +5, medium and deep throw accuracy. Linemen are going to help him stay upright. Wow, no XP boost though. I thought we would at least get something there, but we can at least take from that victory 22 staff points and pump it into Pat Phoenix's coaching tree. And we're going to continue to work our way down. We'll get fancy footwork. We'll get run up the hill, get some stamina boost, get some release roost. And now we are going to be saving up for 20 points so that we can buy concentration. Coming off that week 4 performance, Dan Marino is AFC Offensive Player of the Week. 340 yards, 4 touchdowns. We also, look at that, we got Buckley there from the Packers. Troy Aikman for the Dallas Cowboys had 3 touchdowns, scrambled the football a little bit there. But the good news about that, well, we didn't get XP, which is a little bit of a bummer. We do have a breakout for Dan Marino, which for sure will yield XP if we can hit it. Let's see, we're expecting a stellar game from Dan Marino. He's earned that reputation, yada, yada, yada. Be great. Throw 1 or fewer interceptions and have 400 yards from scrimmage. With Dan Marino, it's going to be passing. We're not getting anything rushing. For a significant amount of XP, the pressure is on. This week, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are god-awful. 2-2, 74 overall. We have another breakout on the offensive side of the ball. Hopefully, it's a receiver that can in line with the fact that we need to have a pass-heavy game plan going into this matchup here. And it is Urban Fryer. We're going to go yet again to try to challenge OJ McDuffie. The Fryer's going to get that XP boost for being a great veteran. It's going to set him up a scenario. McDuffie, 150 yards. Let's see if second time's the charm for him to hit that. Now, I was going to use this opportunity. Maybe look at the trade block, see what kind of wide receivers are available. But we're going to give McDuffie a chance. I'm not going to put the added pressure on that we are looking to upgrade that position outside the building. Give him a chance that if he hits this 150 yards, gets his dev trait, that's the wide receiver that we are looking for to break out. So we'll give him that opportunity. If he can hit it against Tampa Bay, we won't be aggressively shopping for a wide receiver. But if not, if he fails, it's 2 times in a row, he's been unable to take that next step, we may need to explore our options. Because we started here with Miami, no real idea. Are we going to be a competitor this year? Are we going to be a middle of the park team? Are we going to be a bottom tier? But starting 4-0 with the offense playing as it is right now, especially, also full credit to the defense. My 73 overall defense is number 4 in the NFL. Some of that is because we can kill off a lot of the game with long offensive drives. But this team's now looking like a contender. And when you're a contender, you look to make some trades ahead of the deadline that can help you in the playoffs. So it's McDuffie's time to shine. If he hits it, we got our guy. If he doesn't, they're going to look for a wide receiver next week. And look at the Bucs. The only guys I really know are on the defensive side. Hargy Nickerson at linebacker. We have the current general manager of the 49ers, John Lynch, only in his 2nd year. So, I mean, he still has a ways to go to reach the peaks that he hit during his career. And I know a little backup quarterback here, Trent Dilfer. But other than that, I think this is another game that we are going to absolutely dominate. Bucs look terrible. Fryer in the end zone. It is up. Aggressive catch. Contested catch. And it is good. Touchdown 7 on the year for the veteran wide receiver. Dan Marino just on fire right now. Another drive. in the red zone. Prime scoring position. We're going to float it into Fryer. Looks for content. John Lynch smashes him into the end zone. We'll take that. Fryer, boom, touchdown, hat trick in the first half. What a grab! I don't know, we'll pad the stats. It helps the 400-yard goal. Oh, easy. Gotta give him that slant. First and goal, keep it in the air. We have a game plan, we're sticking with it. Plus, it helps that Dan Marino's X Factor really helps him prevent throwing interceptions. And we go to Mark Jackson, another score. We're gonna run it up. Battle of Florida. Very favorable. Second and goal on the 1-yard line. Should be able just to punch this one in. Untouched. We didn't think this one was gonna be competitive. It wasn't. We hit our goals. We didn't throw any interceptions. That probably was the only way to sour this one. Would have been a Dan Marino interception. But he ends up with almost 500 yards passing. A perfect game. Irving Fryer unstoppable. Unfortunately, we did not get the dev for McDuffie. But that was the difference. Last time McDuffie had the dev trance, we were throwing the ball in harm's way, getting turnovers. This one, if he got open, he got the football. He did not get open. So while we do dominate, I still think we should look and see if we can get better before the trade deadline. We were able to smash our QB breakout, which will yield, it says a huge XP boost. 1,500 XP boost. I am the greatest, Dan Marino. He sure is. And the final game for today's episode is against, they're 3-2. It's not the bye week, but Jacksonville and Carolina didn't exist, so they just have pretty much no-name rosters going forward. So should be a game we expect to win. Coming off of back-to-back Offensive Player of the Week performances, Dan Marino, he's 8 touchdowns to 2 picks in the last 2 weeks. Now he's going up against a team that is like free agency, UDFA level players. We need to get the dub. But before that, let's kind of explore the wide receiver market, see who could be available for a trade. Ew. Okay. We might have to manually go find a wide receiver for a trade. In regards to a trade, there's only really 2 trades, give or take, that I think could make sense for our team. I want to get a wide receiver, obviously, that I know, that I've heard of. Our backup option is going to be Andre Rison on the Atlanta Falcons. He's an 86 superstar. But first, I want to try to swing for the fences here and look at Chris Carter on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings aren't going anywhere fast right now, so I think they could be sellers at the trade deadline. I'm offering our first-round pick this year, our first-round pick next year, but we have 2 first-round picks next year. That's probably just more in line with what the Dolphins actually had. I don't think that's accurate to the 1995 draft, but we do have 2 first-round picks. We might as well utilize that as best we can. And then I'm going to throw in Heller here at right tackle. He is the best starter that we could trade, that we have a little bit of depth behind. And I think I'd rather give up something on the offensive line. We're not getting sacked. We're not getting a lot of pressures right now. I'll give up something on the offensive line to see if we can appease Dan Marino, who's demanding at this point that we get him more weapons because he thinks this could be a chance at a Super Bowl. So we'll see where this brings us on the bid. And it is good enough. Welcome to Miami, Chris freaking Carter. I didn't know this. Chris Carter actually finished his career with the Miami Dolphins. Credit to anybody that actually knew this. In the 2002 season, after the Minnesota Vikings, he played 1 year with the Dolphins. But taking a look there at Chris Carter, 91 X Factor. We got the custom face scan. Kid is looking good, 28 years young. And I'm sure him, Irving Fryer, Dan Marino, we're going to keep it rolling this week. We're going to get another 500 freaking yards passing, and we're going to be unstoppable. But as I was saying, Jacksonville doesn't exist. This is going to be bad. We are going to set records to try to introduce and welcome the NFL to the new look Miami Dolphins offense. Dan Marino, Chris Carter, Richmond Webb, Irvin Fryer. Good luck stopping this. Okay, not great. First play for Chris Carter's a drop on 3rd down. The Jags get on the board first. What? You know what? We'll toss it up. It's going to take a little bit of time to get the cohesion here. Fuck! All right, down 10 zip to a bunch of amateurs. There you go. Irvin Fryer, reliable. That tandem, that connection, that chemistry is already there. Oh, that was, we'll take it. I don't know who's going to get that. Might be Keith Jackson, might be Urban Fryer. But it's a touchdown, much needed. Oh, get Chris Carter across the middle of the field. Can't go in, down at halftime against a 67 overall cupcake squad. Terrible clock management here. Terrible clock management. Someone help. Help! Fuck! Move! Someone move, man! Move! First and goal. Boom. Urban Fryer. Tried, tested, and true. Oh, doesn't get in. It's on the one. Should be able to pound this one in. Chew the clock away. Want to get over the victory. I'm getting worried. I feel like the more time that this game has, the more time there's going to be shenanigans that can work against us. So that gets blocked up outstandingly well. No penetration. Double slants. Don't mind if I do, coach. First and goal. See if we get this one to Chris Carter potentially. Looks like they literally have 4 guys shifting Chris Carter's side of the field. I was actually a little bit late, but good enough. Get a little slant cheese there. We need to start pulling ahead here in the 4th quarter. First and goal on the 5. We got Chris Carter. Looks like a free release. Boom. Touchdown. And there's their garbage time. Pull away. Make this game not look as close as it was. And try to escape with as little embarrassment as possible. Here we go. Chris Carter in a game that had no right being tough. Was pretty tough for the first half. But in the end, able to kind of figure it out. Dan Marino, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, 82% completion percentage in the debut. Chris Carter had 8 catches, 113 yards. Can him and Urban Fryer coexist? I think they're both going to be pretty happy. 6 for 111 for Fryer, 8 for 113, 2 touchdowns, Chris Carter. And who is going to stop this offense? It's Troy Vincent. I didn't know Troy Vincent has a face scan. That's pretty badass. Gets a nice upgrade here as well. Here's going to be our ending point as we have the number 2 offense, number 1 defense. Now, I will say I'm going to start to maybe explore adding some sliders in. We are just playing on all Madden. And I think the level of opponents, we should have won and have won all of our games. Like, we have yet to go up against another one of the top tier teams in the league right now. But we will explore that if things continue to go the way that they are going. But I'm very happy to be undefeated, 6-0 with the addition of an X-Factor wide receiver to only make us that more better. Able to sell in a little bit. I know we're only offensive coordinator, but we're clearly have the year of Don Shula, the Godfather in Miami, to pull the strings. Also, it helps that Dan Marino pretty much demanded to go out and get a weapon. But I think Urban Fryer, Dan Marino, Chris Carter, there's not going to be a whole lot of teams that are going to be able to stop this offense going forward. I guess at this point, week 7, quick update of our stats. Dan Marino leading the league in yards and touchdowns. The air raid offense is thriving. 20 touchdowns to 6 picks. We got 400 yards, 4 touchdowns for Parmalee. 764 yards, 9 touchdowns for Urban Fryer. Jackson, 4-4. Chris Carter, yeah, definitely see why he wanted out of Minnesota. Because, you take away 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had what? He had like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns in half a season almost with the Vikings. Disgruntled player. Chris Carter, he needs his targets. So I'm sure those numbers are going to bump up over the coming season. And it'll be cool to see both him and Fryer finish with over 1,000 yards. Defensively, obviously we're not controlling the defense. We're just wishing them well. Jeff Cross leads the team with 4 sacks. Got a couple picks across the board here. I guess how things stand quickly for the NFL. Let's go up here. Dan Marino leading yards. Just beating out Joe Montana. 4 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns for him. Troy Aikman has 15. Jeff Hallstetter, I've not heard a lot. John Elway there, 13 touchdowns, 3 picks. You got Jim Kelly, 12-3. Vinny Testaverde, Joe Montana, Eric Kramer. Harbaugh's there. Steve Young, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick. Okay. Running the ball, what do we got? Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith near the top. Receiving, Urban Fryer running away right now, but I know obviously given our offense, Sterling Sharp's there. Michael Irvin. Defensively, leading tackler, Kurt Govia. No idea who that is. Sacks is Phil Hansen. No idea. Kevin Green, RIP, 6.5 sacks for him. Reggie White there with 4.5. On the interception front, Terrell Buckley, 5 interceptions, 4 for the legendary Darryl Green. But, that's the whole thing with the series, man. If you don't know a lot of these players, you're not alone. I'm not super familiar. The whole point is like this, once we start going through the drafts, the more close to current time we get, the more players we're going to go, and the more legends are going to be available. So happy with the team that we have right now. It's only going to flourish. We're only going to get more depth to our squad. But that is how we're going to end today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. We'll be back for another 4-game piece early next week. If there's anything else, any changes you guys want to see, if you think the pace should be picked up, we should do more than 4 games, let me know in the comments. You think 4 is the money spot, let me know. But I'm glad you guys are feeling it with this series. I'm excited to keep playing with it, having an absolute blast controlling just the offense. Actually, you know what, while we're here, let's wrap up with spending some of our points really quickly. We got old Pat Phoenix here. We'll go down. We got the 20 that we've been saving for, so we're getting a nice +5 catching Irvin Fryer, +5 catching Chris Carter. I don't even think they can get +5s. They're going to be 99s across the board. They're going to catch everything that moves. That's going to be a great starting point for the next episode. So thank you guys very much for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya, have a good one.